in forever, like a year. Oh, we're really recording this?
No, you said click record. What I did.
I was joking. All right, so this is our pre-show then. We haven't done. Micah mentioned it. He's like, "Are you doing a pre-show?" I was like, "Yeah, we haven't." I would have thought he would have known because he was one of the only people who listened anyway.
I
And
think the last time we did a pre-show was while you in Ohio, Graham, before Christmas.
I think he was before that.
Jackson was on.
Oh, he was? Okay. I was thinking it was around like 150. I was thinking it must have been at least 40 episodes. Perhaps it's not that long then.
No, it's still got 20 though. How are you, sir?
Are we doing that on the show? Yeah, I'm good. It's the weekend. This has not been too bad of a week actually for me. My students are preparing for their main state test and taking their state test. So I had one day where I was literally watching kids take a test for 5 hours, which is kind of boring. But at the same time, I kept telling myself, you're getting paid to do nothing. You're not having to deal with anybody. Just enjoy the peace and quiet. And once I got into that frame of mind, the day was good.
So can you sit there and do anything at all? Can you do anything?
Oh, no, you can't. You can do literally nothing. Like, you can't grade papers. You can't go on the computer. You can't do anything. You just got to sit and watch. Well, you walk around and just check.
We see him in the movies and things walking up and down because obviously we have a similar sort of thing in the UK.
It's the same thing. The GCSEs would be the same thing.
Yeah.
They're called the SOLs over here. It's their state test that they take, although this one's more of a yearly thing rather than a twice in your school career and thing. Well, I guess you have the SATs in England, which is not the same as the SATs over here, even though it's the same ladders. But so yeah, it was fine. I have the same thing next week, which is it just means I don't have to prepare anything. everything for the lessons prepared. It's like log into the test, take the test. I don't have to grade the test, so it's kind of easy, which is kind of cool actually.
I guess.
Let me throw the question back at you then. How are you, Matt?
Okay, actually, I actually did English and maths this week, Graham.
Oh. Wordle and Nerdle?
No, actually, as in to GCSE standard.
Oh, okay. But to what means or to what ends?
Well, I finally, after self-teaching myself for the last 20 years, I'm finally being properly trained as a chef. And part of that is that I have to do English and maths at GCSE level. So, my apprenticeship, yeah. I'm the first person to receive a catering apprenticeship in the NHS.
Okay.
Yeah, so no pressure on me. I mean, there's others, but it's our group, the first one to ever get it. So it's kind of a big deal. The estates teams always get them and all that stuff, for like handyman or stuff. The first catering one surprised me, actually. It took that long. But I'm really pleased about that. And I get to, by the end of it, about a year's time, I can officially remove the word self-taught from my CV. Really cool. But doing maths this week was impossible. It melted my mind a bit because I haven't done maths since in 22 years. So I'm a bit out of step. I mean, I do a certain amount with D&D, but it's nothing to the extent of what you need to for this, obviously.
Yeah, adding two numbers on a dice together is a little different from the.
It's when you have to add all the numbers from. I think the other day I had to add 33 different scores from dice together quickly, and that was difficult. Obviously, I mean, calculating obviously is easy, but you haven't got one of those. But I haven't done range, mean, and all that stuff.
Median, mode.
I didn't have mode and median in my assessment because it all says what my level is first, and then I will be set to work accordingly, I guess. I got there though. I was thinking the whole time, like, I should be asking Graham to check this for me.
I have my whole YouTube. Obviously, this is going to go out on the Good Cop, Bad Cop YouTube channel. That's a very minor channel. My personal channel, where I started about, 8, 9 years ago, putting up a few math videos, thinking that, hey, some kids who can't make class, it might be useful for them just to try and get a feel for what they missed. Or if I ever get the parents say, how do they catch up on what they missed? I'm like, I don't really know, except for stay after school. I started putting out a few videos. I know I have one video that's got like 15,000 views of it. So every time I had a lesson, I've taught different subjects for the last few years. I have videos for that stuff as well. I could have directed you to the appropriate one, and it could have.
Well, I've got to do them over the next year or so, Graham. So I'll still take that option for sure. Thank you. Aside from that, of course, day of recording this, we wearing my colours already because it's FA Cup final day, of course.
It is.
And big day for me, leading the Techers coverage later on. It's going to be an emotional one for multiple reasons, which I'll explain on Techers. So, guys, once you finish watching this, go watch Techers, and you'll know what the contact that is.
I was going to have a question to type in the chat for you, but it's not quite as perfect as I would like, so I was going to not use it. But since we're just chatting anyway, what was the last Liverpool team to win an FA Cup at Wembley? This is a two-part question. The first part question is just fine.
At Wembley?
Yeah. It's a good question, isn't it?
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, because they won a couple in Cardiff.
While Wembley was being rebuilt, for people that don't follow soccer, they held it out in Wales, where I believe the WWE event is going to be. So, kind of topical.
No, not same town, different stadium.
Oh, different stadium. I apologise then. Okay, I thought it was the same stadium.
That's okay. You shouldn't know that.
Probably around, I think that was like 2000, 2006. It was kind of a long time.
2001 and 2006, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. So it was like a 5-year span. So he's looking on his phone.
You know what? It's not the most direct thing to say, Graham. For it, to be fair, you type it in, it doesn't give you the answer.
So go to Wikipedia. I could just tell you the answer if you can.
Well, of course you can, go. I'm going to guess it's 90 in the early 90s.
It is early 90s. I was wondering if you'd even remember it. 1992. They beat Sunderland 2-0. I had to look it up.
2-0.
Oh, I apologise, but you know exactly what I'm talking about. A cracking goal from Michael Thomas for the first goal. I do not remember that goal. It's a phenomenal goal. I watched the highlights afterwards. The reason I looked it up was someone on the Manchester United Liverpool kind of trolling page was like, So Liverpool, when did you last win the FA Cup at Wembley? And I was like, all right, they're obviously posting this because it's been a long time. And just because of that. So yeah, it's actually 30 years. Now, the reason I wanted that wasn't the only question I was going to ask you. Okay. Who was the person that led out the team on that day? Was the question I was going to ask.
The captain, you mean?
No, you always have somebody in front of the
manager. You mean the manager? Yes.
So who led out the team on that day? I think this is a tough one. I think I could give you 5 guesses and you might not get it, but you could also be pull one from somewhere special, perhaps. I'm sorry?
Souness?
It was not.
Neil?
Nope.
Okay.
See, I'd forgotten this as well. Like when I started watching the highlights, it was the commentator came on, and I don't remember who the commentator was now because it was kind of low as I was walking, but I could just about hear. Said if you could get odds that these two managers leading out the FA Cup, it was Ronnie Moran. Graham Souness was looking really ill. I think that's the time he had his heart attack. You might have been too young to remember.
Souness was in charge at the time, but he was ill.
Souness was in charge, but yeah, he didn't walk out with a team. He came and sat on the bench, but like when the first goal went in, he was just stone faced because he was obviously so weak. But he wanted to be out there. I think he just had triple heart bypass surgery.
See, this makes me feel like a dick now because I don't like Graham Souness as a person.
But yeah, if you get the chance, I would definitely recommend going back and watching the. It's only like 5-minute highlights, 7-minute highlights. It was good to see. I forgot some of those players. Ray Howton, what a phenomenal midfielder he was. Really good. Once again, might be not your era, but it was the year when I was in my
was part of a 1990 Irish World Cup squad.
He was, yeah.
I know that thanks to Neil Delamere, Irishman, of course. It's been a long time that Liverpool won a FA Cup at Wembley. Last time I won a cup at Wembley though was a couple months ago.
Yeah,
a couple months ago. And Jurgen Klopp refuses to wear a suit to Wembley anymore.
Of course. Who cares about that anymore?
Well, a lot of people do tend to wear a suit for a cup final. They do. And he did that, and we lost. So he threw it in the bin after that. He's like, never again.
The weirdest attire for managers to wear, I think, is actually baseball, because they wear the jerseys just like the players do. So they have a number on their back. They got their name on the back.
What?
And dressed. They look just like the players. Like, can you imagine Jurgen Klopp wearing like a Liverpool shirt? And then when they
Absolutely.
score,
I
it's
can't
just the
imagine him
badge.
wearing one.
Like, I
no.
could imagine Klopp doing it, but for other people, it would seem really weird.
I picked-
John Terry would love it. He could be a full kit, whatever that word is, every single game.
Merchant
if he was,
banker.
a manager.
Merchant banker.
There you go. Yeah.
Indeed. He certainly. Yes, well, that's exactly. He's he's a character. He's Mr. Terry for sure. Let's not, of course, forget about there's two teams in that cup run. Of course, Chelsea looking to in very tumultuous times, of course, trying to put a gloss on their season. Let's not forget that 6 months ago they were top of the league, and now they're on their own in third place out of the Champions League. Only if they cut the fight for. Liverpool win today. Liverpool will have 2 out of the 4 required for the quad. Next weekend, of course, is when it all goes back up for the Premier League, and it'll probably be City wraps it up. But if Liverpool win that,
all likelihood it will be City now.
All likelihood, it's
we have
City
seen
to lose.
teams slip up before, and that was a deliberate choice of words.
Indeed, we have seen teams slip up before, because of course tomorrow, if this goes out today, I'm covering West Ham City on Checkers, so that'll be fun as well.
A draw would set it up perfectly for the final game. I don't think anything more than a draw. I think then it puts a little bit. Then Aston Villa can just get a draw, and that would be enough. Obviously, a win would be fantastic for West Ham, but I think a draw would make
West
the
Ham
most
need a win.
exciting.
They need a win to get back in Europe next year themselves, of course. So
that's true. Yeah, they're going to be trying for sure. I'm glad they need the win.
Yeah, exactly. Arguably, losing the semi-final of Europa League may work in Liverpool's favour. But it all depends on how many people want to kick up in the air, I suppose.
I was hoping before you moved on to West Ham to talk about the fact that Chelsea's perhaps the troubles are ending now and get the talk back to baseball again. Seems
because the Dodgers are buying them, aren't they?
The Los Angeles Dodgers.
Yes. Now, you know more about baseball than I do, Graham. I've heard that there are some.
My understanding of baseball in relation to your understanding of baseball is equivalent to your understanding of wrestling and my understanding of wrestling.
Formula One, Graham, maybe.
Place.
Formula One, Graham. I think you could out. I think on that sort of.
I know a little bit I don't know any recent Formula One, but I used to watch it religiously in the early 90s.
I know a little bit of baseball,
and late
not
80s.
enough.
Wow.
I know a little bit of baseball, but nothing on your level, Graham. So, if you could tell me, Graham, are the Dodgers owners legit?
What do you mean by legit?
They're not.
Are they like Roman Abramovich stole their money from other companies by?
Are they?
Are you talking like that?
Are they the sort of people who would ridicule for taking the knee, for example?
I know very little about the Dodgers owners. The only thing I thought I knew, and this might not even be true then, is I thought they were partially owned by the basketball player Michael Johnson. Not Magic Johnson, sorry. And I know I think he has part of the Lakers as well. Perhaps he's like LeBron James. Perhaps he has like a part share in all these things. So I don't know much more than that. When it mentioned the name of the person, I didn't know who it was. When they showed the picture of him last week at the game, I had never seen him before. So I can't say much about it. All I can say is he's really strengthened the Dodgers organization. He's put a lot of money into that team, and it's now a team that's perennial World Series favorites, you could say probably.
Up there with Red Sox and the Yankees now.
Red Sox would not. Red Sox are only 30% likely to even make the playoffs this season, as of right now.
Yeah, everyone has an off-season, granted, fair.
They do, but the Red Sox, unfortunately, have been made the phrase "first to worst" far too prevalent in the last few seasons. They really do. They're really a yo-yo club right now, whereas the Dodgers continually seem to be a lot.
Given how many years it took them to get back there, Graham, you'll take that though.
It's also a case that the Dodgers have a much easier division than probably what the Red Sox do over the previous 10 years. Right now, actually, it's the strongest division in baseball, I want to say. I think every single team's above 500. If that's not true, it was true about 2 or 3 days ago. So every team has a winning record. So basically, when they play each other, they kind of beat each other up. But when they're playing against everybody else from other divisions, they're crushing them. So
yeah, because of course when the with regards to Chelsea being bought, obviously they're the preferred bidder, but the deal hasn't gone through yet. They've only got to the 31st of May, and if it's not done by then, Chelsea gets wound up.
I was shocked at the figure quoted, 4.5 billion. I think I saw. I was like, oh my gosh! I did not think it was going. I thought it was about going to be a half that number, or possibly even a little bit less than that. I was thinking around the 2 billion, 1.8 billion. I was shocked at 4.25. Shows you the money that's actually in the sport right now.
It does, and that's if it goes through, which is great. Then that means that a British institution is saved, and all the jobs for maybe the tea lady and John the Kit Man and all those wonderful people behind the scenes who are working hard, not the billionaires who are playing on the pitch. It's something that's been saved. That's good, and hopefully we can move on from that terrible affair of business. Of course, at the same time, I would laugh my head off if Chelsea went out of business before it could happen, because I think it would be a hilarious thing. But that's my banter talking. In reality, it would be devastating to lose that sort of club to the club because of something no fault of their own.
We should wrap this up because I know our guests are arriving soon. It is nice to see you wearing your CXW shirt. Obviously, I've seen it a few times, but I don't think it's made it onto the pre-show at all. So
I don't think it has. No, yeah. So
and as we're talking t-shirts, just in honor of our guest, I am wearing the Devoid Wrestling Podcast t-shirt as well. I didn't get the Toxic Micah one. I considered it. I actually preferred the look of this one, so I was like, I'll just go with a generic brand. And besides our little group, I don't think people would understand the Toxic Micah reference anyway. So I figured a wrestling podcast, you can at least figure out, oh, that's another wrestling podcast. So
indeed. Anyway, we're back. We made it back soon with another pre-show, guys. If not, check out Good Cop Bad Cop on Sunday on VGM. We're out of here.